Hi, I'm Daniel Gold, and welcome to the Leadership Lab. By day, I'm a partner at BDO USA, but this podcast is my personal project, completely separate and apart from my day job, but reflect the same passion that I exhibit everywhere for teaching, mentoring, and helping others succeed through simple, impactful lessons. It is my hope that you'll walk away with practical takeaways to help you on your leadership journey. Thanks for being a part of the community and for joining me in the Leadership Lab. Let's get started. When people are scared to speak up or speak out, they're not just staying quiet. They're contributing to the slow failure of an organization. That failure doesn't happen in one moment. It compounds quietly. Success lives or dies on the maturity of a company's executive leadership team and whether they give permission or space for dissenting voices to be heard. Living in an echo chamber of yes ma'am or yes sir only nurtures the seed of dysfunction. But when an organization thrives off perspectives that differ from the one sitting at the head of the conference table, something shifts. Opportunities blossom. Ideas grow in the friction of respectful disagreement. And when the team has the maturity to hold both candor and care at the same time, execution becomes clear because now the input is real. I've seen leaders who surround themselves with a cabinet of voices unlike their own. That's not insecurity, that's strength. That's what Abraham Lincoln was famous for. He intentionally brought together opposing thinkers and critics in his cabinet because he believed the truth was more important than comfort. When you get this right, you don't just get a better decision. You build a culture where people stop nodding and start contributing. The ability to ask a question without fear of retribution or judgment says everything about the depth of a leadership team. It shows that the person asking, often the leader, knows they don't have all of the answers. And, more importantly, they're not afraid to admit it. In my experience, leaders think they're listening when they're really just waiting to speak. They anticipate what the other person is going to say. The moment there's a pause, they jump in, not to understand, but to steer the conversation back to their point of view. And that is not dialogue. That is control. And it usually comes from fear. Insecure leaders are afraid of the pause. They're afraid of the silence. They worry that if they slow down, if they reflect, if they let someone else lead the conversation for a moment, well, it might make them appear uncertain, weak, unintelligent, or indecisive. But the truth is just the opposite. When a leader pauses, when they breathe, when they make eye contact, and soak in the words, they are modeling executive presence. They are choosing intention over impulse. And that is what deep leadership listening looks like. Deep leadership listening means you are fully present. You are processing what is said in real time and applying it to the bigger picture. The very next words out of the leader's mouth should reflect that. An appreciation for what the person said. A paraphrasing of their insight, a clear signal that what they shared was heard, using their name, mirroring their language, slowing down just long enough to show you care. That doesn't mean you agree, but it means you understand. Listening is not jumping in when someone else is taking a breath. It's not multitasking on a Zoom call. It's not staring at your second monitor with a flickering Slack thread visible in your eyeglasses. It's not tilting your head away. It's not answering emails while someone is speaking. It is not nodding politely while preparing your rebuttal. If someone is speaking and you're already on to your next point, they can feel it. And what is worse, your lack of presence sends a clear message that they don't matter. Even virtually, you can be present. In fact, you have to be. Eye contact matters. Stillness matters. A follow-up question asked with curiosity, it matters. Anything less, and you're not just distracted, you're disrespecting the other person's time, trust, and voice. Listening breaks down in a few consistent ways. When leaders are afraid of how they will be perceived, when we feel pressure to multitask, when our day is wall-to-wall meetings and every topic feels urgent, when we assume we get it because we've been around longer, when team members don't feel safe to challenge authority, and when we ask for feedback and we do nothing with it. And that last one is critical. If someone on the team gives you input and you do nothing, that is just as bad as never listening in the first place. Action is the follow-through of listening, and without it, the trust evaporates. So what can we do? Here are simple, specific things that leaders can do to start today. Number 1, adjust your camera. Make eye contact, even virtually. Don't sit off camera while your team shows up. Number 2, turn off distractions. Silence your notifications. Enable focus mode. Close your inbox. 3, show up prepared. Pen and legal pad or iPad and do not disturb. Take notes. Be present. 4, ask clarifying questions. Real questions, not rhetorical ones. And follow up. And that brings me to my last point. Follow through. If you say you'll take action, do it. If you don't, explain why. And when you give tough feedback, show up with care afterwards. Directness and care must ride together. If you're only bringing one, you're not leading, you are just managing. Your team has ideas. Your team has truth. That is why you hired them. If you can't hear it, you'll never grow. You'll never innovate, and you'll never unlock what is possible. Deep leadership listening is about appreciating the pause. It's about showing presence and intention. It's what earns you the right to be called a leader. Because when your people feel seen, when they feel heard, when they feel respected, they will give you their best, not because they have to, because they know it matters. Remember, leadership isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Take this lesson, put it into action, and continue setting the gold standard in your own life and at work. See you next time.